Am I the butthole for talking about when I was pregnant, even though I don't have children? Long story short, I can't carry to term. Any time I was pregnant resulted in a miscarriage and loss, and one time it was at 24 weeks. I'm okay with this. I'm not as maternal as I thought I would be, and am happy to be child-free, even if it was not by choice. I understand these are the cards I was dealt. As such, I keep mainly to myself. When we were working outside of home, 3 women in my office became pregnant. I was more than happy to celebrate with them, etc. well into their late terms, and celebrate when they had their kids too with gifts. During these times we'd talk about pregnancy cravings, etc. and talk about mine, and we'd laugh about it. Only one person in the office knew about my situation. Now that we work from home, we communicate basically through text. Another is pregnant. And we started talking about it all again. The one person who knows my situation in my office messaged me privately telling me to stop talking about when I was pregnant, because I'm not a mother, and since I won't be, I shouldn't contribute. Not going to lie, truth kind of hurt, but I understood why she said that. However, now I feel like the butthole forever talking about it, and maybe she's right. Not the butthole. The coworker messaged you as a massive butthole. Just because your baby is not in your arms does not make you any less of a mother. I'm poor, so I can't give you an award, but 100%, spot on. Op was pregnant. Original poster is a mother. Edit. Thank you for the awards, guys. Furthermore, to clarify, I don't expect original poster to consider herself a mother if she chooses not to. That is her choice. Nor do I think you have to be pregnant or birth a baby to be a mother. But we can all agree the person who made these statements to original poster is a massive ah. Smile and stay safe, guys. Plus, they're specifically talking about experiences during pregnancy, and original poster experienced pregnancy. She's a valid contributor to this conversation as any of the other women. Edit. Thanks so much for the awards. Exactly. If original poster was chiming in to criticize their potty training methods, pretending she had gone through it, that would be odd, but she has experienced pregnancy. If she's comfortable talking about her past with her coworkers, that's her decision. Some people, like the texting coworker, are too emotionally immature to handle tough situations like the one original poster went through, but that's not original poster's problem. My mom said she lost a couple friends after she lost a late-term pregnancy. It's sad to think that people would behave that way. Came here to say this. Why can't say talk about the experience she actually had? She isn't sharing advice on how to parent a child. Can't believe someone would even consider saying it to original poster. Absolutely, when talking about cravings, etc., it doesn't matter really whether you had them or not. But original poster did have them, and so is why the private message would say that. The only thing I can think is if knowing original poster's a normal person seeing her and knowing karma doesn't exist, it may cause the mother stress or a reminder miscarriages happen, but that is just me playing devil's advocate. If it were me, I would be being more sensitive to Op's feeling than the ones that appear to be going through just fine. Unless the person is experiencing a possibility of losing the baby and original poster hasn't been told, I can see a good reason for this behavior. Original poster is not the butthole, and the person who private messaged her is also for apparently unilaterally deciding what original poster can talk about. I would like to have bio children, but I never will. But I like talking about stuff with a niece I treat as my daughter when she is in my care, and so if, for example, I had a photo of us together at my desk but someone taped a caption of "This is original poster's niece, not his daughter" on the otherwise untitled photo, I'd feel aggrieved. I think either the pregnant coworker may have asked the messenger to step in as she is fearing bearing in original poster's shoes, or that the messenger is just a gatekeeping person who has no empathy. Definitely not the butthole. On that note, I have a healthy 6-year-old, but I was also pregnant once before her and suffered a miscarriage at around 22 weeks. The 2 pregnancies were vastly different, and whenever similar pregnancy conversations come up for me, I often reference both pregnancies. I don't think I'm wrong for talking about both pregnancies just because I only have one living child, and I don't think anyone would ever tell me I was wrong to talk about the first pregnancy just because it wasn't carried to term. By original poster's coworker's logic, is my experience only valid because I have a living child? Or does only one pregnancy count? Not the butthole original poster, but your coworker is. They don't get to gatekeep pregnancy or motherhood. Your experiences are valid. Op was pregnant. Original poster is a mother. No. I don't love this sentiment. If she considers her experiences to be motherhood experiences, then that's completely fine, but the mere fact of pregnancy doesn't make you instantly default a mother. Depends on what you want and how you feel about the pregnancy. Can we not give anti-choicers unnecessary fodder for bludgeoning people with unwanted accidental pregnancies over the head with guilt trips about how they're immune me, and they're killing their baby? 24 weeks is past viability and is a stillbirth. Not the same as an abortion. Any babies who are aborted this late is usually a termination for medical reasons, and those babies are almost always wanted but sadly lost. This isn't a conversation about choices. This is a conversation about how a woman is being silenced in her experience. None of that makes her a mother automatically. She should not be silenced about her pregnancy and miscarriage experience, and she should feel absolutely free to consider herself a mother if she chooses to do so. What I said is that you should not be foisting the title of mother on someone automatically and at default, because of the fact of a pregnancy. That goes for any stage of pregnancy. I'm sure it becomes vanishing more rare that someone does not actively want to consider themselves a mother later the stage the pregnancy was, but that doesn't mean 100% of pregnant people will want or welcome that title. Absent original poster actually saying that motherhood is an appropriate title, you should probably not act as if it's a given. Original poster was pregnant, she experienced pregnancy, but she herself said she isn't maternal and enjoys being child-free. She is not a mom. Pregnancy has nothing to do with motherhood and vice versa. Thank you. Honestly, I'd be tempted to take this to HR. It's a very nasty way to treat a coworker. I thought about mentioning this. If original poster did, do you have a script in mind? Dear HR, as you know, many of the women on my team have become pregnant/mothers over the last X time. I am always happy to share their joy and share my own pregnancy story/experience, even though I am not able to carry a pregnancy to term. Only, name, is aware that I have never experienced a live birth, and when discussing names, pregnancy, name, privately messaged me and told me not to share my experiences. I was profoundly hurt that this individual who knew my personal experiences would take this opportunity to invalidate my pregnancy experience just because I have never carried a pregnancy fully to term. Then share how the person made you feel by excluding you from discussions and invalidating your feelings and experiences. Don't forget about attaching a copy of the message, but yeah, HR needs to be notified for this. Very well put. This, 100%, this. I lost my first pregnancy at 12 weeks. It took years, many surgeries, and a ton of infertility treatments to get pregnant again. The loss we experienced is the loss only a parent can understand. I grieved for months nonstop. My husband got hives from his internalized grief. Years later, I still miss him, even though his little brother is now a 2-year-old running around in my life. Plus, not having a live birth doesn't invalidate her pregnancy experiences. It's not a question of being a mother, it's a question of being pregnant, which original poster has experienced. Edit, just. So we're 100% clear, I'm saying that original poster should absolutely be able to contribute to a conversation about pregnancy, and I'm sorry their coworkers are acting like this. Yeah, I can't imagine having such an unsympathetic attitude. I'm currently 7 months pregnant and my best friend had a miscarriage a few months ago. We both talk openly about our personal situations and what it's like to be pregnant. I would never try to gatekeep this experience and dismiss her valid experiences. Not the butthole. You weren't contributing your experience with motherhood, you were talking about pregnancy. You've been pregnant. Exactly this. In the most basic of terms, pregnancy is a medical condition. Original poster has experience with this medical condition. The coworker is an enormous off for basically shaming her for sharing the experience. I hope original poster keeps sharing her pregnancy stories. They are hers and hers alone to do with what she chooses. Original poster sounds like an incredibly empathetic and positive person. Sharing the fun and funny parts of something absolutely life-altering for her. Exactly this. Original poster was pregnant, and she should be allowed to freely talk about that experience. The loss of a child through miscarriage is an example of disenfranchised grief, where the wider society doesn't talk about it and doesn't have a socially accepted framework for acknowledging it and being supportive of the mourning process. The co-worker trying to make original poster rug sweep her pregnancy experience is an extreme form of that disenfranchisement. Ops recollections of being pregnant are just as valid as anyone else's. There's a reason we have words like orphan meaning your parents died, or widow/er meaning your spouse died, but we have no word for a parent whose child has died. Because we don't even like to think about that, so we make it hard to express. And yes, original poster, you are absolutely not the butthole. To be honest, I think that is because it used to be normal to lose a child. In 1849, the death rate of children under 5 was 33%, in London. Hence, the Victorian description, she had X children, of whom X survived, was the usual way to state how many children a woman had. Not the butthole. Wow. That comment to you was brutal. Like I had to check your profile to see if you were obviously trolling brutal. Your coworker is in butthole. This seems like a relationship-severing statement for them to make. This might also be the sort of thing that might be worth recording and bring up with HR/your boss. Second this. How dare that I admonish you for simply discussing the topic of pregnancy. Not only do you have pertinent first-hand stories, you are a human living in the world, who has thoughts and experiences to share. Who appointed them the office chit-chat police anyways? Traditionally, it was kind of understood that you didn't scare pregnant women by talking to them explicitly about pregnancy loss, but you weren't doing anything close to that. Besides, women aren't fragile china dolls that you must tiptoe around, and pregnancy problems are a very real part of our world, not a shameful secret. I am truly aghast that this sociopathic chose to humble and exclude you in this way. There is a reason they messaged you privately to say this. It is horrible, inappropriate, and absolutely effing heartless. 100%. Like WTF is wrong with this coworker? It costs $0 to mind your own business. I can't imagine ever saying something so crass and hurtful to somebody. I honestly would never speak to them again if they say something like that to me. Not the butthole unless you're saying things like when I was at your stage, before I lost my baby. Only because that specific turn of phrase would freak a pregnant woman out about miscarrying. If your conversations don't typically turn awkward, there's no reason for you to pretend you've never been pregnant. Original poster replies. Oh God, no. I'd never let it go that far. Mostly it was about food cravings, swollen ankles, and bowel movements and flatulence. I never really mentioned losing the baby unless someone asked. You are such an empathetic and positive person. I am seriously blown away by this. You are sharing all the funny and fun parts with women who might have a little anxiety about their pregnancy. For me, it was a little voice reminding me something could still go wrong at every pregnancy milestone. So many women want to share the painful aspects of their experience with expectant parents, not in a malicious way but more of a keep an eye out for this way, and it can be too much. Please know you are a gem and your coworker can stuff it. Thank you for being a voice to normalize pregnancy that doesn't end in a healthy live birth. This is the kind of conversation that can actually save a woman from feeling shamed about something out of their control. Your coworker is uncomfortable for whatever reason, but that's not your responsibility. That's what therapy is for. Sorry if this is overdramatic, but I feel like the coworker who privately told you couldn't talk about your very real pregnancies you're not a mother should be terminated from that job or reprimanded in some serious way. However, you may feel about the situation is up to you, but nobody in a work setting has any right to say those things to you. That's completely over the line. Not the butthole. Agreed. I would be sending that message straight to HR. Not the butthole. Not the butthole. You were pregnant before, and I don't think that just because you miscarried, your experiences are invalidated. She's the butthole to tell you that. Not the butthole. Never ever ever TA. You were pregnant. You have experienced pregnancy. I'm so sorry that you are unable to carry to term, and I can't even comprehend your strength. This person needs to keep their opinions to themselves. End of. When someone is pregnant, ill, struggling, or just experiencing something new, it helps massively to be able to talk about it. It can just be being heard or hearing other people's experiences to know you aren't alone. I just don't understand the logic behind the comments made to you. You'd never tell someone not to talk about their driving test just because they didn't pass. Or tell someone who survived cancer not to talk about it because they beat it. You were pregnant. You experienced it, and your advice and support could really help someone. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.